Hey guys, Probable1701 here, and today we're going to be doing part 1 of a 2-video series where I am ranking the Doctor Who eras. Or eras. I don't know why I'm saying eras. Some quick rules. Tom Baker's run will be broken into 3 different eras because Tom played the Doctor for so long. I really think he has 3 distinctive eras that he's in. We have the Hinchcliffe era, the Williams era, and then basically his one season with John Nathan Turner, season 18. I consider that its own era because it really is a very unique season. There's not another season like it. So Tom will be on this list 3 times. I will not be doing the first Doctor in this as I've only seen 6 of his stories. I don't feel like that's enough of his stories to really properly rank it. So the first Doctor will not be on this list. Also, I won't be doing the 8th Doctor because I haven't heard any of his Big Finish audio. Really, I just know him from the TV movie Night of the Doctor and some of the comics I've seen him in. And I don't feel like placing just the TV movie in the list, so that won't be on here. And I will be combining the 9th and 10th Doctors together into the Russell T Davies era. I'll be discussing it as a whole since Chris just did the one season. The Russell T Davies era will be just one entry on the list. So starting in 12th place, we have the 13th Doctor's era with Chris Chibnall running it. I do think this is the weakest era of the show, mostly due to writing. Now, before anybody gets all uppity about you don't like the woman Doctor, if you've seen my review of Series 12, you'll know I actually enjoy quite a bit of Series 12. About 6 of the episodes of Series 12 I really enjoyed. I have a review of that season. You can check it out. I do think Series 12, aside from the very terrible finale, which is probably the worst finale in Doctor Who history for a season, I thought the season was pretty good. Series 11 was where I had a lot of issues, as I found Series 11 to be probably the worst season in the show's history. I have a video coming about that soon. It's a very mediocre season with some decent stories, a couple good stories, but no great masterpiece stories to really stick out. As for Jodie, I like her as an actress, but more and more I'm starting to think she's just miscast in the role. And the writing's just not helping her any in the direction they're taking her character. I don't really care for. I think it's sad that my favorite 13th Doctor adventure is not even an episode of the series. It's an actual story that's come out during lockdown I thought was really good. So, yeah, that's definitely in last place for me. Number 11, and I was surprised about this because it really was hard to make this list because this list doesn't match up with my ranking of the actual Doctors. So, like, this era, the Doctor of this era, I like more than some of the other eras that come higher on the list. And that's the 5th Doctor's era, which I don't know why it ranks this low. Maybe it's because I still have holes in it. You know, I've already done a video talking about the 5th Doctor stories I have seen and haven't seen. And the 5th Doctor has some great stories. I love Castrovalva. I really like Arc of Infinity. I think it was 4 to Doomsday I really enjoy. The 5 Doctors is great. Caves of Androzani, of course, is great. But I don't know. There's so many other of his I don't care for as much. Earthshock, of course, is great. But like Black Orchid I didn't care for. Kinda I don't care for. The Visitation is okay. Resurrection of the Daleks is good. I don't know. For some reason, maybe it's just because the 5th Doctor itself is so bland, that's just where this is ranking. Or maybe it's because I haven't watched some of his stuff in a while. I need to rewatch Arc of Infinity. Just as I was doing the list, this is where he fell, was in 5th place, which I'm kind of surprised. This is one of those, if you ask me next week, it may be a little higher. Moving up to the next one on the list is the 6th Doctor. And I really think the 5th Doctor and 6th Doctor eras could flip-flop for me, just depending. I have watched some of Colin's stuff lately when I went back and watched Mysterious Planet recently. And again, the 6th Doctor, I have holes in season 22 I haven't seen. Like, I haven't seen some of the bad ones. Like, I've never seen Time Lash, for example. I have seen Twin Dilemma, and that is bad. I still need to see Attack of the Cybermen to see if it's any good. I've seen a lot of the better stories. Like, I've seen Vengeance, it's great. I've seen Revelation of the Daleks, which is great. the two Doctors is very but and while I like the Fifth Doctor more than the Sixth Doctor, I like some of the stories I've seen from the Sixth Doctor more. I like Terror of the Vervoids. I really like The Mysterious Planet. Ultimate Foe is okay. Mind Warp is okay. Brian Blessed really helps that there. So just for right now, I enjoy the Sixth Doctor's era more. It is very violent, just like some of Davison's final run is very violent. Eric Sayward was not a subtle man. Or is not a subtle man, I should say. But I don't know, just part of the Sixth Doctor himself is that arrogant brashness he had in the show kind of pulls it down. I don't think him and Perry really clicked in season 22. They were getting better in season 23. I would have loved to have seen more of them in season 23. Plus, I don't really like Mel at the end of Colin's run. But just for some reason, that's where I have the Sixth Doctor right now. Again, my lists fluctuate. I'm sure you're Doctor Who fans. You know. You understand. Next on the list in ninth place is the 12th Doctor's era, which is really hit or miss. The 12th Doctor is odd for me because he has such a character arc. Like, I don't really like Series 8 Capaldi, but I absolutely love Series 10 Capaldi, and Series 9 Capaldi is alright when he's not being Clara's bitch, which he is way too often. God, I hate Clara. But I really enjoy Series 10 a lot. But even Series 8 has some good stuff in it. Like, I love Mummy on the Orient Express, and I love Flatline. Deep Breath is a pretty good post-regeneration story. Into the Dalek is alright. The Robots of Sherwood I like more. I didn't used to like that a lot, but the second time I watched it, I really enjoyed it a lot more. It's got a lot of humor in it. I actually do enjoy Capaldi in that one. But then you have Listen, which sucks. Time Heist is fun. I do want to mention Time Heist is fun. The Caretaker sucks. Kill the Moon is the worst episode of Doctor Who ever made. It's just total shit. I can't remember which one Forest in the Night is. I can't remember Forest in the Night. See, that's Series 9, isn't it? That's what happens. You just forget. The finale for Series 8 is okay. And then you have Series 9, which has the worst Dalek story ever made with that two-parter. Under the Flood or Under the Lake Before the Flood is really good. That's such a forgettable season, all these two-parters. The Girl Who Died, The Girl Who Lives, not really that good to me. Heaven Sent is great. Heaven Sent's amazing. Sleep No More is stupid. That's another one I can go back and never rewatch, but I need to go back and rewatch it. That really is one I need to go back and rewatch again, honestly. I didn't really like it, but it does deserve at least one more watch. And then the finale for it is not really great. But I like Season 10. Season 10, the Extremis 3-parter is really the only bad thing in it. And I actually like the first episode, Extremis, I think it was. But the other two I don't really care for. The season opener was good. The pilot, I liked it. Especially the little nod to the Movellans in it. Smile's alright. I love Thin Ice. Thin Ice is such an underrated episode. It's probably my second favorite Capaldi episode. It's hard for me to rank some of his stuff. But it's really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Heaven Sent, not Heaven Sent, the Dr. Falls two-parter, World Enough in Time is really, really good. Oxygen I don't like. I didn't care for Oxygen. Some people seem to like Oxygen. I do not like Oxygen. That's definitely one of the ones that goes on the overrated list for him. I need to do that too. But Capaldi's era is just, it's very up and down, very up and down, very up and down. But the good episodes are really good. That's why it ranks higher than some of the classic stuff I've already mentioned. Number 8 on the list is season 18 of the classic series, Tom Baker's final season. I like this one more than some people do. I think it's an underrated season. Plus, it has one of Tom's best stories in it, State of Decay. State of Decay is the masterpiece title of this season. I absolutely love State of Decay. I've raved about that story before on the channel. It's so good. The only thing holding it back is some of the special effects used in the climax of the story. Could be better, and I would love to see it get touched up in maybe a special edition one day. But other than that, it's a phenomenal story. I think Tom is good in it. I think Lala's all right in it. I don't really like Lala Ward, Romana a whole lot. The other stories in it, the only really bad story in it is the Leisure Hive. I think that one's just a waste of time. But I think all of the other stories in it are at least decent. I like Meglos. My only issue with Meglos is it's too short. I wish it had had another episode. I really like Meglos a lot. I think Full Circle's pretty good. That's a weird one because the first time I watched it, I was just kind of on it. But I've seen it a couple times since, and I actually enjoyed it. So there's some good stuff going on there. Again, State of Decay I love. Warrior's Gate I think has some really good ideas, and I think it's realized really well for its time. It's kind of dated now, but for its time it's realized pretty well. I'd love to see if that episode was made like now, what it would look like. I think that would be really neat. Keeper of Traken is really good. I enjoy the Keeper of Traken a lot. I think Anthony Ainley is just great as Tree Mass. It's probably my favorite of Anthony Ainley in Doctor Who. Is I love how he plays Tree Mass. So regal and so noble, which makes his fate even more sad, really. And then Legopolis is pretty good. I mean, it's not the best regeneration story by any means, but I enjoy it. It's nice to see Tom go out kind of saving the universe. It's just, I think it's weird because I don't rank it as Tom's worst season. I've ranked Tom's seasons before, and I do rank it, I think, higher than 16 and 17. I just don't think overall it's better than the Williams era, just because I think season 15 is really good. So it doesn't, while I think it's not Tom's worst season, I think it might be his worst era, if that makes sense. Next on the list is the Sylvester McCoy era, and that'll be the last one we talk about today. Again, there's 3 of his stories I haven't seen yet. Time in the Rani is pretty bad, but I do think Dragonfire is really underrated, and that's all I've seen in season 24. Season 25, I think Remembrance is really good, but I do think Remembrance is very overrated, as I mentioned in my Dalek review. I think Silver Nemesis is pretty good and doesn't get enough love, even if it's not as good as Remembrance. I don't really like The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. I don't hate it, I don't think it's as good as some people seem to think it is. It's just okay. For me, where McCoy really shines is season 26. I love season 26. Battlefield's really good, except for the incidental music, because I don't like the incidental music for it a lot. I think it holds the story down. But other than that, season 26 is Battlefield's really good. Ghostlight, another really good one. There's a couple moments in it that kind of make me cringe, but it's a really good story, dripping with atmosphere. I love the atmosphere, and I love the manner they film the house in. It really does have its own personality, and I enjoy that. Curse of Fenric, very overrated, but still a very good story, and very important to developing, like a lot of season 26, developing Ace and the Doctor's relationship and really helping us learn more about Ace and her grow as a character. Curse of Fenric is essential Doctor Who viewing. And Survival is really good, especially the speech at the end. It's not perfect. I do think it's the best we see of Anthony Ainley's Master. I love how he gets to portray the Master here. And I love watching the Master go up against the 7th Doctor. That's a really neat combination. So, yeah, I've got that one there. So that is the first half of the list. We will be discussing the second half of the list probably tomorrow. So what do you think so far? There's some of these you're sitting there going, why is that not higher? Or are there some of these you're nodding sagely going, yes, that's exactly where it needs to be. So comment down below. I'd love to know what you think of the list so far. I always enjoy interacting with you guys. Other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. I've started a Patreon channel. If you would like to become a Patreon supporter, check out the link below to that. That really helps me out with importing stuff, as I import a lot of Doctor Who stuff. Most importantly, though, stay safe out there. And thank you for watching.